We are graphing lines using slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So these are linear functions, which means they create lines. And all we need is them to be written in y equals mx plus b. So y, the y coordinate in the ordered pair. X is the x coordinate in the ordered pair. M is your slope, so circle M. And B is your y-intercept. But always take the sign with it. So it's a positive B or a negative B. Take the sign with it. So M is your slope. B is your y-intercept. When you graph, you are going to graph this first. Graph your B first. B is the one without the x. So it doesn't necessarily have to be mx plus b. It could be b plus mx. And then you do your m, which is rise over run, second. So we have steps on the next page. All right, so here are the steps. Step 1, write y equals mx plus b under your problem. So let's do example 1 as we're going through the steps, okay? So we have y equals negative 3x plus 5. So underneath it, write y equals mx plus b. That is step 1. Step 2, circle the m and the y-intercept. So circle the m. And circle the b, the y-intercept. Keep the sign with it. And we are going to place a dot on the y-intercept. So b is our y-intercept. We're going to go to the y-axis and place a dot on the y-axis at that number. So go to the y-intercept or the y-axis and go to the y-intercept. So this is the one we do first. So go to the y-axis, put a dot on the y-intercept, which is 5. Step 4, rewrite the slope as rise over run. So I'm going to write m equals negative 3. But we don't have a run. This would be our rise over run. So whenever there is nothing on bottom, then it's an understood 1. So it's actually negative 3 rise and 1 run. So if it's a negative rise, that means I'm going to go down 3. So put your finger or your pencil on your y-intercept. From there, you're going to count rise over run. So we're going to go, I'm going to write it down 3, right 1. If it was positive, we'd go up 3, right 1. We are always going to go right until we want to get to the other side of the y-axis. Okay, so let's stay on the right side right now. So we're always going to go right. So go down, count them 1, 2, 3. Your pen should be at number 2 now on the y-axis. And run 1. Okay, so that was step 5. But what I like, I don't want you just to have 2 points. I want you to fill in the whole graph with all the points you can. And the way you do that is continue to use rise over run. So go ahead and add this to your instructions. Plot more points using rise over run. Okay, so we're going to go back to the point we just did. Okay, so go back to the point we just made. Put your pencil on there. We're going to do rise over run again. So down 1, 2, 3 over 1. So see how it's making the same slope? So keep on doing that. Okay, now I have my pen on 2, -1. So now go down 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1. Then do it again. 1, 2, 3 over 1. Do it again. 1, 2, 3 over 1. And I've gotten to the end of the graph. See how they're all in a straight line? That's how it should be. If any of them are not in the line, then that means you did something wrong. So you need to go back to your y-intercept and do it again. All right, but we need to go to the other side of the y-axis. So we're going to do the complete opposite of this. What's the opposite of down 3, right 1? Up 3, left 1. So go back to your y-intercept and do that. Go up 3, 1, 2, 3, left 1. And then 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'd be off the graph. So I'm not going to graph that one. So I only had to do 1 on there. So now with a straight edge, you can use your journal or a thick piece of paper. You should be able to line these up. So don't just line it up with 2. Line it up with all the lines, or all the points. You are connecting the dots to make your line. Press down on your straight edge, but lean your pencil over and go like, oh, I messed up. Go like that. You've got to press down really hard on this in order to get it straight. Okay? I made a mistake, so I'm going to fix it real quick. Make sure your line is straight and that you use a straight edge. On your assignments, if you create a line and it's all wiggly, then I'm going to count off points because there's no reason it should be wiggly. You can use the straight edge like I have, or use the edge of your journal, or use your ID badge. So anything that's straight. The edge of your journal is pretty good because it's really thick. Okay, this is one of my favorite things to do in algebra, graphing lines. Let's go to example 2. Oh, it does say label the line and put arrows. Go ahead and put arrows on the line. Because 6 says draw your line, make sure you have arrows on both ends of your line, and label your line. So you can just put it over here, y equals -3x plus 5. And one final thing to check is just make sure your slopes go in the right direction. Our slope is negative, so this should be nice negative. So think back to slope, dude. He's going down the mountain skiing, and he says nice negative. So see how it's going downhill? That's just one final thing to check. Okay, let's go to example 2. Refer back to your steps. And go ahead and... Okay, so the steps say y equals mx plus b. Circle your m. Circle your b. Do your y-intercept first. So our y-intercept should be at 7. So go to your y-axis, go to 7. Plot a point. If it was -7, we'd go down to 7. So all of our examples today are positives. Then rewrite your slope as rise over run. So that means we're going to rise -2 and run 3. So I'm going to go down 2 because it's a negative rise, and right 3. 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3. And it should be going downhill because remember, nice negative. 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3. So you keep on following that. Then to get the points on the other side, we do the opposite. The opposite of down 2, right 3 would be up 2, left 3. So go back to your y-intercept. No matter where you're at, go back to your y-intercept. And we're going to go up 2 and left 3. 1, 2, 3. So your points should be in a line. Put arrows on it and label it. Okay, the first step, if you look at the left side, it says y equals mx plus b. So write that underneath. It says circle the slope and the y-intercept. Make sure you keep the sign with the y-intercept. Place a dot on your y-axis on your y-intercept. So it's a positive 2. Plot your point at positive 2. Keep your pin there. Well, first write your slope. 2 over 5. So rise 2, run 5. So a rise 2 means up 2. A run means right 5. Always go right unless you're doing the complete opposite. So we're going to go up 3, right, or up 2. Why'd I write 3? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Up 2. 1, 2, right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do that again. Up 1, 2, right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So see how these are all in a line? They should be. Then go back and do the opposite of the 2, up 2, right 5. The opposite of that would be down 2, left 5. From your y-intercept. So go back to your y-intercept. Go down 2, 1, 2, left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do it again. Down 1, 2, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you filled in your graph with all the points possible for this slope. Now use your straight edge. Press it down firmly. Connect it, or put arrows on the ends and label it. And this is a positive slope, so puff, puff, positive. That is one thing you need to check at the end. Make sure you did it correctly by checking your slope according to Slope Dude. And you have an assignment called Spooky Linear Equations. It says graph the following linear equations on the same coordinate plane. Make sure you extend the lines to the edge of the graph paper. Darken each line when finished. Color however you want. So I will do some extra credit for creativity. You color it and all that. Make sure you also answer questions 9 through 11.